Let me give you a real good exercise that drives us all home. It's what I call the stadium pitch. Let's imagine that you had this outrageous opportunity that I could put all of your prospects into a stadium all at once, and you have one opportunity to walk out there and sell them all at once. Who here is ready for that pitch right now?
Here is your daily dose of the Ultimate Sales Machine coming to you from the new edition. Visit ultimatesalesmachine.com to get your copy or multiple copies. I am your host, Amanda Holmes, CEO of Chet Holmes International. What you're about to learn has assisted 250,000 businesses to generate billions of dollars, working faster, better, smarter.
Who here is ready for that pitch right now? Could walk out the door right now into the stadium, and these are all your customers. You could get up here on stage right now and do a masterful job and completely sell the entire room. We got a couple of you. There's always a couple of you. But all of you should be ready for that. But let me make it even harder. All right, what would you want to accomplish? What would be your strategic objectives? So in most cases, people would say, well, what would be your strategic objective? You walk out there, well, I want to sell them all. And I'd say, well, is that all? Well, yeah. Well, what else is there? There's a lot else. So I'm going to show you like 15 other things you might want to do in that stadium pitch. But first, let's define the audience. So the top line, this represents, at the very top, those who are buying now. That says down here, the audience for any product or service. So all of you right now, this defines your audience. Right now, there are people buying right now. You know, and let's say you sell cars. Right now, there's a 2-3% of any particular product or service. There's 2 or 3% who are buying right this minute. They're right, whether you get into them or not, they're buying. Okay? Then there's about twice as many, or 3 times as many, or 4 times as many, depending upon the market, who are open to it, who know they're going to be buying. The lease in a car is coming up. They're open to it. It would be okay. It'd be an easy decision for them. And for any product or service in the room, this is the case. Then there's those who are not thinking about it. That doesn't mean they're against it, because that's a separate crowd. They're next. They're not interested. But above them, and usually the biggest part of the pyramid, is those who are not thinking about it. Just hasn't occurred to them. Does everybody understand this? Define your audience pretty much? And then you have those that are definitely not buying ever. So they think. They know they don't want to buy. But a great stadium pitch will appeal to the entire pyramid, and it will drive buyers up. It will take the people who are in the, not thinking about a category and move them into the open to a category. It'll take all the open category guys and move them into buying now, and it'll take the buying now and you'll sell them. So here's the real challenge. And this is where now let's make it real challenging, all right? Right before you walk out, I tell your audience, okay, you had to come, but you don't have to stay. So if this person doesn't rivet your attention from the first 30 seconds, you can get up and leave. Now that means that if your audience is composed of people who are definitely not interested, and you start talking about your product right away, like carpet cleaning, you definitely don't think you need carpet cleaning, and you come out there and you start talking about carpet cleaning right off the bat, or your products or services right off the bat, you're going to have a huge portion of that audience walk out. Just get up and walk out. So again, I'd love to ask the people who thought they could come up and do the stadium pitch, if this were the rule, that basically these people have been told if you don't rivet their attention immediately, they can get up and walk out. Now, are you still ready to do the stadium pitch? Who's ready? Okay, give me your opening line.
I'm a financial advisor.
Okay, so you walk out. Good. So all of you guys are his potential stadium, right? Come on, give us your opening line.
Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, you're engaged in a game of financial chess against the financial institutions and the government, but you don't have a chessboard. So how do you know how you're doing?
Right? Hey! Excellent. Thank you. That's a great stadium pitch. Why is that a great stadium pitch? Because it starts off with something of interest to you, not of something to interest to him. So he doesn't walk out and say, I'm a financial planner and I'm here to teach about financial planning, because that's his pyramid is there. He's got people who think they don't need that. And he just opened up with something that makes us all go, huh? So let me give you a lot of other examples. So true story, I go out, I'm about to buy the $100,000 Mercedes, and after 3 phone calls to the dealership, I hadn't seen it and I was ready to buy, the sales guy did not return my phone call. Well, just being who I am, I can't buy from somebody who has that kind of follow-up. And a neighbor of mine says, why don't you go check out the Cadillac? I'm like, I'm not really, Cadillac, So I go down there and the sales guy's like a rocket ship, fantastic sales guy. He opens the hood of the car and he says, you see those platinum spark plugs? Well, they cost us plenty, but they won't cost you a dime because this car don't need to be tuned up for 100,000 miles. I go, really? He goes, you know how much it costs to tune up a Mercedes? Yeah, I do, actually. And he reset my buying criteria. He took my current... So if you agree with the criteria, I call it the funnel effect. You should set up a criteria that says, he says, well, you don't have the chessboard. And I bet if we let him go, you could probably set it up pretty good, where you'd be going, yeah, well, that's true, well, that's true, that's true, that's true. So if you agree with the criteria at the bottom of the funnel, you're going to draw a logical conclusion. So what market data, how can you set it up where basically you're setting up the buying criteria for your buyer, you understand? So every one of you should have a stadium pitch that goes, the 5 most dangerous trends in your industry. Or the 5 things that every person, should know about shoes or vitamins. And all of that is a righteous setup for what your product or service does. That's not my idea, by the way. I just named it. It's what every top producer does. They set up the buying criteria before they try and make the sale. And it's so powerful that you cannot compete with them. You better hope one of my clients never has to compete with you because they will slaughter you if you're not setting up buying criteria. If you're not an expert on your marketplace, you be an expert on your product and someone comes in an expert on your marketplace, who's going to have the credibility? You could talk about your products, but do you know that there's 5 trends right now that are occurring in the industry that are going to totally make your product useless? Or so your competitor would show them if they listen to what I'm saying here.
Make sure to get your copy or copies at theultimatesalesmachine.com. There's a lot of special bonuses that you can't get going to Amazon, so make sure you check it out at ultimatesalesmachine.com.